everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. You know who I am. My name's Karen Bukes, and I'm your host for the evening. We have a lot to do tonight. A lot of great people are running in this upcoming election, and we're going to try and get it all out. But I have a few announcements. As you know, on Saturday, May 9th, is Plymouth's election. And in Precinct 13, I am asking you to write in 3 wonderful and already dedicated volunteers. They're not on your ballot, so I want you to write them in. Ken will put up their names, and please write them down. Write-ins are Mike Landers, Anita Hadley, and Wynne Gerard. All of these people come with great credentials. All 3 have volunteered their time and energy to the town, and they deserve a vote. Please write down their names so you won't forget. Please vote on Saturday, May 9th. We will show their names all during the show. Those are the 3 that are write-ins in Precinct 13, and I'll be talking a little bit more about it as we get along in the show. Okay, let's welcome some of our great underwriters, Stoll's Cafe in Manomet, and I want to thank Stoll's Cafe for donating all the monies raised for the Symes Foundation. They were supposed to give half the monies raised, but they gave all of it. It was a Saturday fundraiser. If you came in and ordered food, they would give the money to the Symes Foundation. Well, they gave it all. And I want to thank them for their generosity. That's Stoll's Cafe in Manomet. Great food. Brewster PC Solutions. I love you, Brewster. Attorney Trifoletti and Costa on Long Pond Road. And underwriters, David and Kevin Gallerani, owners of Cape Auto Body and Service. Locations are Sandwich and Samoset Streets right here in Plymouth and C. I'm using his pen. He gives away about 1,000, and I got about 200 of them. They're great people. Well, way back last fall, I invited this gal to come on the show. We were supposed to talk about the Manomet Youth Center and all the wonderful things she's done. Well, since then, things have changed. You see, she just decided to step up to the plate and run for selectman for the 1-year seat on the Plymouth Board of Selectmen. I admire her very much. I call her friend. She has a lot to offer the community, and that's why I'm supporting her candidacy. Please welcome candidate for selectman, Betty Cavaco. Welcome to the show, Betty.
Thank you so much for having me.
I know you're not used to doing a program like this. This is the first time for you, but that's okay. I'm user-friendly. Betty, let's start by telling the audience something about your personal life.
Okay, personal life. Well, I am a resident of Whitehorse Beach, actually. I've lived here for almost 50 years. I am married to a wonderful man and have 2 great kids, ages 9 and 11, and they go to Plymouth Public Schools. They're little boys. Hi, Zach and Ethan. I'm sure they're watching. My parents actually owned Costa's Market on Whitehorse Beach for many years. So I've always been down there as a little kid. I mean, you know, and it's a great place to live. I mean, it's the beach. It's beautiful. I mean, all of our town's beautiful. So and you know, my work history. I worked at Entergy. I went there. Well, it was actually Boston Edison at that time. I graduated high school in June, and I was at the power plant by September.
Really?
So I went there as a temp.
Right away?
Right away. No time for trouble.
Good.
I went there as a temp, and I remember saying to my father, I'm not staying there. And 30 years later, I was still there.
I know, but give me some of your educational background, and then we'll go back to the professional.
Okay. Well, I went to UMass Boston, and my major was labor law. I was actually planning on being an attorney.
Good. I could see you as an attorney. Oh my goodness. Yes. I would hire you as an attorney.
And I would represent you.
Let's hope that never happens, but go ahead.
I also went to the George Meany School of Labor, and that's in Washington, D.C.
Oh, how nice.
And that is like intense labor studies, and I really, really enjoyed that. I had mountains and mountains of training through my history, at the power plant and stuff like that. So we were always training into something.
Right, and that must have been wonderful going to Washington, D.C.
I loved it.
Oh, I love going there.
Yeah, we didn't have much downtime because our classes were like one class was an 8-hour class.
Oh,
like every day. Mm-hmm. And we'd go for that one class, we'd go for like a week or two for that one class, and it would be accelerated.
Sure.
So, but I did get to travel around, and we used to go to Maryland a lot and get
I love
the soft crabs.
Sure.
And so
the harbor there is beautiful. It's Plymouth Harbor is beautiful. Maryland has a beautiful harbor. Vienna Harbor.
Right. And I, after that, I traveled a lot. I went around the country. I did contract negotiations. So I was everywhere. And it was you were able to see and so appreciate when you came back home, even as young as I was.
Sure.
So.
And we'll get into Entergy in a little bit. But you have a unique perspective on negotiation. You understand what it takes.
Right.
You said to me both sides.
Right.
Why don't you explain that a little?
Well, to be successful in negotiations, you really have to know what the needs and wants are of both sides. And that's either whichever side you're on. So me being on the worker side, I still had to know what the other side wanted and what their needs were. And I was very successful. And I can't really say that I had ever negotiated an unsuccessful contract.
Really? That's excellent. So the parties were happy.
Yeah.
By the way, Betty, how does Entergy feel about you running for selectman? I would say they're not too happy, but that's okay.
It doesn't really matter.
I'm talking about the management. The workers are fine.
Right.
Yeah, you're still very friendly with them, but
right.
I'm not too sure about that management.
Yeah, I don't think I was loved.
Yeah. So now, what made you decide to run for selectman?
Well, it all really started, I had been dabbling in watching a little bit of politics, but it really all started when the town decided to shut down the Manomet Youth Center, and I became heavily involved. So during that whole process, it was very disheartening to see that the town came up and said 4 days before school started, we're going to shut down the youth center. There's no after-school program. Mm-hmm. Now, even though it made no difference to me because I'm home, I saw how the people in the community were like devastated.
They were.
People were I'm going to quit. I'm going to have to quit my job. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, you know what? Let's calm down.
Explain what the Manomet Youth Center does.
The Manomet Youth Center runs an after-school program every day for kids in the community. It goes during the week, it's from 3 to 6, and on Fridays, it's from 3 to 8. We have buses from Manomet Elementary, Indian Brook, South Middle School, and I think that's it. And
you're the one who got the buses to come. They weren't doing that originally.
No, our committee was.
Yes.
And actually Matt Moratori was big to make that happen.
Oh,
so
excellent.
he was really helpful.
Yeah.
But so seeing all the processes that we had to go through and still go through, I just think there's such an easier way. It's like, can't we simplify things? Mm-hmm. And seeing that, I think it can be done.
Well, when I saw you in town hall that night, that's what you were saying out in the hallway before you spoke. You said it again, but you said the parents were devastated
was
because,
horrible.
number one, the kids are in a safe place.
Right.
Number two, they had excellent curricular activities
Right.
that really stimulated their mind, and they had fun doing it.
Right.
Camaraderie, learned teamwork. That was that whole thing.
Right.
And now they were going to lose it. So what'd you do?
Well, so all the parents, I'm a big Facebook person, and anyone
No
watching
kidding.
knows that. I Facebook like all the time.
Yeah.
So they were so upset, and I was like, you know what? Let me kind of sit here for a minute. I was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And now these are people that I never even met before, but
Yeah.
we're in social media, so I was like, we're going to start a petition. And they're like, oh, you know, okay, we'll start a petition. So I started a petition. I went on change.org. Now, even though it wasn't an official,
Yeah.
you know,
Document.
right, I went on change.org. I started the petition on Friday, and it was Labor Day weekend. So there was Monday off. Tuesday was the BOS meeting.
Yes.
By Tuesday, I had 800 signatures.
Yeah, I think I was one of them.
So I went to town hall, never really got that involved before, went to town hall, stood up at the podium and asked to be put on the docket for
Sure.
next week. And in the interim, asked them to please stop, you know, what
The
they
process.
were doing.
You have to stop.
Give me a
Yeah.
little time, just, you know, even 2 weeks if we have to, till we got what
And
we
you know,
needed.
sitting there as I was, looking at you, I said to myself, you know what? She can do it. Never spoke
No.
to you about it before.
Right.
But listening to you, you were so confident, and you did it.
I did.
And tell us who's on the board of the youth center.
Okay, so we now have, just so you know a little bit about it,
Yeah.
we formed a nonprofit. We are a 501c3. We're pending. We had two great people that helped us through the process, and that was Rob Kraus, who's an attorney in Plymouth,
Yes.
and Ben Houston,
Okay.
who's a CPA.
Oh,
So they
great.
helped us throughout that whole process. So as of right now, I am the sitting president of the 501c3, and it's the Friends of Manomet Youth Center.
Yeah.
Jim Nihan is the
Jim.
secretary-treasurer.
Sure.
And then we have Megan Collins, Dempster,
My honey bun.
which we all love.
Yeah, Megan is the chair of Precinct 6, and I adore her.
Right, she's a director.
Yeah.
Wes Pearson, who is...
Oh, I met him.
Yep.
Sure.
Elizabeth Oliver, who's the marketing director for Life is Great New England. She's on there.
Yeah.
We can't forget our wonderful Matt Moratori. He's on there
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
And we have Robert Morse,
Oh, yeah.
who is one of the volunteers, and I'll get a little bit more into it, but really a committed youth person, and he's a young man. So, and Wendy Childers.
Okay.
So that's the people
That's
that
the team.
Yep, that's the team.
How often do you meet?
We're supposed to be meeting every 2 weeks. It's been a little crazy lately.
Yes,
So.
yeah, it'll calm down. It'll be over soon. But you know what? The paper did an excellent, the OCM, Old
Yeah.
Colony Memorial, did an excellent article. You threw a spaghetti dinner fundraiser.
Right.
There wasn't a seat in the place.
We did, the first fundraiser that we did was the spaghetti supper. And everybody was saying, you're not going to make any money on a spaghetti supper. I'm like, yes, we are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, we are.
I've done one. Yeah.
Mama Mia's
Yeah.
donated the majority of all the food to us. Cara Cipolo, who's wonderful. She's been a great help to
met
us.
her. Yeah.
So we had our spaghetti supper. I thought we were going to have 100 people, max. We had over 200 people. There wasn't a room in the place.
Yeah.
We ran out of food.
That's good. That's a good problem.
Right. We had raffles, and that night we cleared $5,000.
Amen.
Amen. And then we said, okay, we've got $5,000 now. So now what are we going to do? With some of that money, we went out and we bought all new board games, all new little gadgets and things. And then within a couple weeks later, we did a standout at Stop and Shop. and it was pouring rain. It was myself, my kids, and a couple of other committee members and their children. And Megan was there. Michelle Mazzilli was there, who was a parent that's a helper. And we stood out there in the rain. It was awful. It was freezing. Our jugs, we filled them with $1,500 in 4 hours.
Unbelievable.
The community is just so supportive of especially that project.
Of course it would be, because you know the children's parents went there.
Right. I went there.
Yeah. And my son went there.
Right.
And it's just one of those things that is all about community. You know, the Manomet Youth Center is all about community.
Right. Well, for us, it's Bartlett Hall.
Yeah.
It's always going to be Bartlett Hall.
Oh, yeah, that goes back.
And many people will say the same thing. But we have done so much work. Within 4 months, we raised $18,000.
Oy, oy, oy. That's fabulous.
Now, for the parents that have gone in there, it's all repainted. We had volunteers, and that's where I said Bob Morse. He was wonderful. He came in there with his friends, and they just pecked and pecked and pecked away. So it all has a fresh coat of paint.
Coat of paint.
All the pool tables are refurbished. They all look like brand new.
Wow.
There's a brand new hockey table. There's a brand new bumper pool table. There's a 65-inch smart TV in there that was donated by the Dussaults. There's it's just unbelievable.
What is the town saying, Betty?
I think they were pretty surprised.
Yeah, they was happy and surprised.
Well, happy and surprised because I wasn't going away, and I'm still not going away.
Well, you said that to them. I mean, I think that should be your motto, Betty. I'm not going away, because you say that all the time to everybody. It doesn't matter what the situation is.
Well, Megan, at one of our meetings, said to them, you should just really give her what she wants, because she's not going to leave you alone unless you do.
I love it. I could see you on the Selectmen's board.
Yeah.
You know, doing this. I would go just for that. So very, very lucrative, and you have a bank account. You have a treasurer.
Right.
Everything's quite on the up and up, and now you've even grown. The children that have.
Yeah.
It used to be a handful. Now
it's 138 kids, I think, or
goodness.
140. And we have like really huge news, which is wonderful. Best Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Plymouth. I don't know if you guys know them. They are the best company I have ever dealt with.
Tell me.
They're wonderful. They gave us a $27,000 Jeep to raffle off, and all the proceeds will go into the youth center.
My goodness.
So we have like a marketing plan. I mean, tickets are gonna be $50 a piece. We're only gonna sell 2,000 tickets.
That's reasonable. I mean, for a Jeep.
Right. It's gonna bring in about $100,000.
Oy.
And that will completely upgrade that facility. And we're gonna put air conditioning in there. We're gonna put new doors, new windows. We really want that entire facility the way it should be.
It was a few years ago, and the entire committee on that board, youth center, should be commended for what you've done. A few years ago, I believe it was the Carpenters. Mm-hmm. They went and refurbished the outside and did some things on the, but they improved it greatly.
Right.
And it was a project that they took great pride in, and it looked darn nice, you know.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait, and I thank you for saving it.
Well, it was a group effort. I mean, nothing works unless you're a team.
Right.
So I may have driven the boat, but it was really everybody else that was pushing it all along as well.
Of course, they've got their whole heart into it.
Right.
You know, it means so much to so many. And
you know what? We've met, I mean, some of these people that have come on our committee, never met them before, but it's like you see a spark in them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I mean, Megan, you know, we've become great friends.
Sure.
And I have more respect for her than probably many people out there.
Sure.
And she's great, and she'll be like, she keeps me in line.
Yeah, like I do.
Right.
Yes, I know. You got to have people like that around you. I need my husband. I guess that's who it is. But now your husband, Chris, wonderful guy.
Yep.
He was born and brought up here?
Yeah, third generation.
Wow.
Yeah. So and it's so funny because he only lived 4 streets over from where I live. And I'm lucky enough that I still live in the house that I grew up in.
Wow.
So, and I love the fact that my kids are growing up in that same house.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I got to see the outside of it a little bit in the hallway there, and it's a really attractive
Yeah, Chris has
home.
done, he's a great craftsman, and he's done quite a bit of work to the house, so it's been, it's great. And I can still feel my childhood in there.
Oh, sure, I
So,
bet.
yeah.
Now to see your boys
Yeah,
grow up in the same house.
right.
Do they know the history of it?
They do. They do. I
course.
mean, I have pictures of my parents.
Yeah.
Because my youngest was too young when my mother got sick and passed away.
Yeah.
So I have pictures,
Excuse
and they know,
Yeah.
Vu and Vo, because that's what we call them in Portuguese. So they know who they are. But
Yeah.
my oldest still remembers my mother, but neither one of them, my father wasn't
Yeah.
alive. So,
That's sad.
but we keep their memories alive.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
absolutely. Now, I'm a Symes Foundation member, so is Kenny. How do you feel about the Symes? You've gone to a number of meetings.
I have. Honestly, I felt that the $1.5 million should have completed the entire project. I wasn't too thrilled to see that it wasn't completed, and I really don't feel, and from what communication has come my way, I don't feel that the taxpayers really want to put any more money into it. So I'm hoping that they can really pull up their bootstraps and get some fundraising going, and maybe they can get a car.
Hey, look, you did it. You can tell them how to do it. Yeah, but it's a wonderful. I mean, we finally have our green.
Right.
And that's so important, a community place to gather, and that's another community oriented
And
place.
I'd love to see more community things going on in there. The commercial kitchen will be wonderful.
Yeah.
First of all, it's going to make us revenue.
Yes.
And my husband actually has rented a commercial kitchen because we did a little side business there, or he did, for some time. And you couldn't find a commercial kitchen
No.
anywhere in Plymouth. We had to go, he went all the way to Pembroke.
Wow.
So that was nice,
Yeah.
but to know that you could go right up the street. Plus, look at the programs we could run out of there.
Yeah.
We could do cooking classes, cooking shows, cooking, whatever.
I think it will be cableized.
Yeah.
I think because sometimes if the selectmen want to come down to Manomet and hold a meeting, and Megan and I, or whomever else, can have their caucuses there.
Right.
They'll have the upstairs apartments, and the middle floor will be offices.
Right.
To bring in more revenue.
Right.
It's been a long time coming.
Right.
Too long.
It has.
So,
I like the open meeting space because I think there's
Yeah.
maybe something we can do team-wise. And actually, even for the youth center, I believe,
to partner with,
something. We have to do
Sure.
something.
yeah, call Randy
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
when it's a time appropriate. But I also know, this can bring us right into the tax issue here. You have a lot of concerns concerning that. And how would you tackle the tax burden?
Well, I think we definitely need to do something with our industrial commercial growth in the proper areas. And maybe that's, something better in the industrial park. I really like the RITF ideas. One of their ideas was the ferry down at Cottage Park, which after further investigation, the federal government has 90% of those funds available to us.
Yes, and disclaimer, I sit on that,
Right.
and you asked me about 100 questions about it. You came to one of our meetings, but that you felt it wasn't long enough and you'll be back.
Right.
But you really latched onto it. I mean, you get it.
I do get it.
Because our charge was to bring monies into the town without taxing anyone.
Right.
Now, think about that. So you have to think outside of the box.
You have to. And one of the other things that I thought that was really a brilliant idea is having a revenue officer. And having it set up that you'd maybe pay them the first year that they were employed, and then their wages would be whatever money they brought in.
A percentage.
Yes, a percentage.
An incentive, and they don't bring it in, they don't get paid.
Right.
But the potential is there
Right.
to make a lot of
Absolutely.
money.
And I mean, these are the things that we need to do. We need to do something about the taxes. So I think we have to start thinking, what are we going to do? And then we have to do it.
Yeah, you tell, this is so typical, Betty. Yes, we'll talk about it, but then we're going to do it.
Exactly. I'm not,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a talker. Trust me, I can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I can talk to you all day long.
As you do.
But I'm a doer.
Yeah.
When I'm done talking about it, we need to do something now.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if you want to talk about it some more, okay, we can talk about that, but that's while we're doing it.
Yeah.
So, that's one of the things that I've really noticed, that we talk a lot about things. And like I said, I'm a doer. So maybe for me, it'll be a nice fit to like get things moving along.
Well, I know this isn't an off-the-wall question, but let's say you're sitting on the select board and the majority of the board doesn't want to do what you want to do. How do you handle that?
Oh, that's where the art of negotiation comes in. I think whatever we face, and if all the board doesn't want to do something and I do, I think by right, we need to know why, first of all. And they need to come up with a good explanation of why we can't. It can't be just because we're not going to do it. And then we need to find out other areas that may be able to go through why they think we can't do it, to see if there's like a roadblock, we can go around it, we can go through it, we can go. But I really don't think there is anything in this world that can't be negotiated. And it's usually, I mean, not usually, for me, it's always a positive resolve. Something that's going to make everyone happy. Maybe not thrilled, but happy.
And I notice you're calm too. You're not a drama mama, which, thank you, dear Lord.
No.
I like that.
Thank you.
You're deliberate.
Yes.
Yeah, but you also have a good sense of humor. I mean, it's really good. I appreciate it. Now, I know something is near and dear to your heart, and you're going to jump into this full force.
Right.
You are so concerned over the opiate issue.
I am so concerned. And I'll tell you, my family and I, we were visiting neighborhoods just this past weekend. And we were in the Mount Pleasant area where the Mount Pleasant School is. And I went up to a door and I knocked on the door, and a woman came out, very attractive woman, small, little, very nice. She came out and I shook her hand and I said, "Hi, I'm Betty Cavaco. I'm running for the 1 year Selectman seat." And I had a card that said some of the things that concerned me. And one of the things was opiates. And she looked at the card and just tears came down her face. And I went to her and touched her and I said, I'm so sorry, what's the matter? And she told me, my daughter overdosed 2 weeks ago. All I could do was tell her how sorry I was but I did tell her, I'm going to do something about it. And that is my plan. I'm not going to sit here and tell you or tell the audience that I'm going to do something and I'm not going to do it, because I am going to do it. One of the things that I've been heavily involved in is getting the naturopathic bill passed, and it's sitting in the House and Senate. I want to call upon Matt Mortori, Vinnie DiMicido. We have the House bill numbers. The House bill is 846. The Senate bill is 166. We need to be able to treat pain differently than traditional medicine, because it's the traditional medicine that kind of gets us in trouble. And it's all addictive. I myself personally had some serious pain issues. I had a very bad injury. And after 4 years of taking all the traditional medicines and injections in my spine and injections here and, have this, I had a plethora of drugs.
Yeah.
And one day I just woke up and I said, I just can't do this anymore.
Sure.
So I started looking through the phone book, and I'm looking at, holistic remedies and things like that. And I found a naturopath in Plymouth, Dr. Ann McLennan. She's wonderful. And I started treating with her. And although my issues aren't completely, they'll never be cured, but at least I can keep some of the pain at bay. And all I'm taking is flower essences and, homeopathic remedies. And
Wow.
But I do all the different modalities. I do naturopath, I do acupuncture, I do massage. And that's all part of that bill. So I'm hoping that moving forward, whether I'm in the seat or not, I think I can still reach out to Matt and Vinnie, because they've been very supportive all along.
Sure, they always are.
And see if we can get something going, because there has to be another avenue. And if somebody can go into a doctor and pay their copay and get a little bottle that has flower essences in it, that's way better than that bottle of OxyContin or whatever it is that they would give.
It's the OxyContin. Me personally, I can't take any of that kind of medicine. Mm-hmm. It sends me for a loop.
Right.
So I take, the most I take is maybe aspirin or Advil.
Right.
I'm even allergic to the allergy medicine.
Oh, goodness.
So I suffer with the allergy,
Right.
but I would rather do that than take anything.
Right.
And it's the oxycodone that starts it. They don't
Right.
start with heroin.
Right, right.
They start on something else. And once they're hooked, and
yeah.
that's what it is.
Right.
And God bless our police and fire department, because I'm going to tell you, they don't treat them as criminals.
No, they don't.
If they go into a program, and this isn't a 3-day program, it's like 6 months.
Yeah.
They've got to get it out of their system, and our police and fire are magnificent. They understand the situation.
I wish the people, even people sitting on the board now, people that are running for this position, I wish they experienced what I did with this woman, because my heart broke for her.
Of course.
Because there was nothing I could do to help her, and I'm a doer. So,
Yeah.
But right now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do something.
matter what.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So just
well, you've already started that House bill, a while
right
back.
It's been about a year.
And so this is before any thoughts of running for anything.
Right.
You were running your household. That was about it. But you get something and you see it through.
Right. And some people call that tenacity, and I'm okay with it. I just think it's the right thing to do, and we need to stick by that. I think we should all be morally driven to do the right thing.
Absolutely, Betty.
So.
Oh my goodness, yes, I hear many people say that. Not as easy to do, but it should be.
It should be.
It should be. Can I take a minute here? Because
Sure.
I want to tell our dear audience, again, to please write in Mike Landers in Precinct 13, and the write-ins are on the screen. Mike Landers, Anita Hadley. When Gerard, I believe it's Gerard or Gerard. I apologize if I'm not saying it right, but that's Precinct 313. Now, I know you're watching out there. Write their names down and please vote for them. Now, a little bit about Mike Landers. Everyone knows Mike Landers. What a terrific guy he is. I've known Mike for years. He's been a town meeting member for, 10 years? He's a 10-year member and past chair of the Plymouth Cultural Council. He's been on the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce, Tourism Committee, Economic Development Team. He does the Plymouth Waterfront Festival and the Plymouth Library Board. You know, I could go on and on about Mike. He's just a sincere, wonderful, hard worker. It'd be a terrible loss if you in Precinct 13 did not vote for him. And I happen to know Anita Hadley. She sits on my Revenue Idea Task Force. She stepped up to the plate. Write her in. She's a wonderful woman, hard worker, great ideas. I love Anita. And from what I understand, when Gerard, he was on the Cultural Council, I believe, and also cares deeply about this town. 3 great people also running on the planning board. My husband, Ken Bukes, and our dear friend, Tim Grandy. They'll be on the ballot. Give them a vote. That'll be great. Claudette Thomas, Precinct 14. She is on the ballot. Vote for her. Wonderful gal, works hard. She's also on the Cedarville Steering Committee. She works very hard for Plymouth. All good people. I'm getting to it. You know, I have an echo in here. Patrick O'Brien, he's a write-in in Precinct 7. That's my precinct. I'm chair of Precinct 7. Patrick O'Brien will be running. Write him in. And they're all regarded as heavy lifters. Each one of these people, they take Patrick O'Brien, he ran Memorial Hall. He brought in all those people, made great money. One of the very few who's done very good for Memorial Hall. He'll make a great town meeting member. So all these people, please vote for them. And
we actually have one more.
What did you want to say?
Christine Kane, school committee. She's a write-in as well.
Okay.
So
there's Dennis Begley and Kim Savory Hunt and Christine Kane. So these are all good people, and we'll see what happens. But to get back to you, dear Betty, you're number 1 on the ballot.
Number 1 on the ballot.
You know how that process is done. Pizer, our clerk of the town, it's very public. He puts a jar or a hat on the...
I think it was a hat, I heard.
And somebody else reaches in, and that person is 1, 2, all the way down, or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's how you get on the ballot.
Right. And just so people know, my real name is actually Lizabeth with an L.
Right.
So there's no Betty on the ballot.
No.
But Cavaco is the same.
Right. And Kenny, I think, has been putting that up here. It's Lizabeth, no E. Lizabeth Cavaco, no Betty.
Right.
Yeah, but... yeah.
Number 1 on the ballot, number 1 in their hearts.
Kenny like that. I'd like to get back to the opiate, and it is a crisis.
It is a crisis.
So you have a plan. You really have a solid plan because you started it already.
Right.
And there are groups in this town that are working hard too.
Right.
To bring the issue forward.
Right.
Because it is a crisis.
It is a crisis.
It's touched all of us.
Well, one of the groups that we've worked with the youth center is the Edge Plymouth, and we haven't worked with them for a little bit, but I plan on
Bringing them back.
and see what we can do. Great group. They have a Facebook page, the Edge Plymouth. They did a couple of events at the youth center for the kids, and they had a pizza party and
A teaching
right
type of
teaching, but making it fun. I'd also like to maybe take a look around and see what else we have for an empty building. I really think we need a place for ages like 15 to 18. We need to get these teens involved. We need them to get them on the right track. So I'm hoping that maybe, something will come up that we can say, okay, we should take this empty building and start this. Maybe that's something that we can do with the Edge. So if the town isn't that interested, in following that, we can actually have other avenues to move forward with.
It's a safe atmosphere. Your children are going to in a healthy atmosphere.
Right.
And that's what we need. We need to put our children into these types of forays and teach them at the same time.
Right.
Have fun, teach them, bring them around positive people.
Right.
And it's hard enough. I just don't know. Bringing up children today.
I'm scared to death. My kids are only 9 and 11. We're a very close-knit family. We do everything together.
Yeah.
So Chris and I don't get out much without them.
Oh,
but it's
priority.
Okay. It's okay, and we love spending time together. But even like on a Saturday night, and the youth center doesn't staff on Saturdays, I think that's something that we need to visit.
Okay.
I think it's something that we should maybe have younger kids, the 7 to 14s that normally go there. Maybe they can be there till 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, from like 10 or 11 noon, whatever. And then I think that should be opened up from like 5 to 10 for the older kids. And I mean, there's plenty to do there, but I really think that we need to engage them. And sometimes kids, with all their homework and their stresses and everything, we just need to find a safe, fun environment that they can still learn the right things to do.
Well, especially in today's environment, the hostility.
Yeah.
They hear about it. You might not talk about it at home, which I advocate you should, to alleviate their fears. But, they do have stresses.
Right.
Do you remember what it was to grow up? Dear God. And you couldn't talk to anybody. I mean, you had a friend or two, especially in my day and age, you didn't really say anything to your mother and father. They would have killed you.
Yeah. We had the fear of God of my parents, I'll tell you. Yikes. But I like old school. I'm good with that old school thing.
You're good with it? Now, give us your thoughts on town employees.
Town employees. Well, I'll tell you. I think they work very hard. I don't think people realize what they go through on a day-to-day basis and how much they really do work hard. And I've heard a couple of things, I've really done my due diligence to find out what the nitty-gritty is of everything that's involved in our town. And some of the things that I found out, that morale's not that great, we need to address that. Because you know what? Not only do they deserve it, they should have it. Because we're only as good as our employees. That's in any business, any company. So one of the things, I want to get more involved with the employees. And I want those employees to be able to call me up, and I don't care when it is, what time, not after 9 o'clock.
She doesn't care what time. Not
after 9.
Not after 9.
But if they have a problem, call me up.
Yeah.
Send me an email. Message me on Facebook. Because you know what? We need to fix that barrier that's between the town and their employees. Because that's important. It's important for us as a community, and it's important for them as employees.
Well, it's like anything else. I mean, God forbid anything happens to you, who are you going to call? You're going to call your police, you're going to call your fire.
Right.
Our roads. Now, the DPW director tells, I don't blame the men for anything, the men or women, the employees.
Right.
It's the DPW director that puts out the work. And he our roads could be,
a lot better.
This is April.
Right.
All right? It's not the men's fault.
No.
They're told to do a certain thing and they do it. So, I mean, all of them together. Our library is DPW.
Mm-hmm.
What a joyous place to go.
Right.
And it's family. It's community. That's DPW.
Did you know that in 1980, the DPW had more employees than they do today?
Yes, I did know that.
And we have an extra 35,000 people.
I know. What are we going to do? I don't know. I think about it. Slowly they're trying to bring it back. I think the police are down, maybe 1 or 2 men. Fire department's still down.
Right. And these are our infrastructure. These are the people, police and fire, they risk their lives every day. Really. They're either drug addicts, they're in a fire, Here they are talking about 2020, and on Facebook we see $1 billion. Now that was with a B, and I don't know if that was a mistake or what, but they kept it there. 1 billion people to come to Plymouth. Hello? Where are we going to put them?
I have no idea. And who's going to take care of them? The police, the fire, the DPW. Right. That's a lot of strain.
Yeah.
Boston wants the Olympics. I don't think so. I would not vote for that.
No, I wouldn't either.
I don't want another big dig.
Right.
So, because everybody pays for it. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
Here I'm hogging your time here.
No.
I'm sorry.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
2020 is a big focus. I think we should maybe change our focus a little bit. We need a party. I'm not saying we don't. We need something. But I think we need to take care of what's more important first. And I certainly would rather have something to deal with the opiates and things like that before I plan on a big party that's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah, we need also relief for our taxpayers too.
Right.
Some of your experience walking through the neighborhoods has been very positive because you've told me.
Yeah.
And your son, he was so adorable. He got up the other morning and he says to his mother, he drags himself to the kitchen and he says, "We have to walk again today."
They have been just great.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we were out there all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And you know what? People are still so kind.
Yeah, they are.
And I look around, and when you're walking around, now I did a lot of sitting in the car because I can't walk that much, but my husband drove me to place to place, and the kids would run up and they have their little cards and, "Hey, will you vote for my mom?"
Yeah.
But we live in a beautiful town. We really do. Some of the houses and everything that you don't really notice, like when you're driving by in your hurried life.
And when you walk by, you notice that beautiful window, the stained glass window, that old door that
such
how
history.
many people opened.
Right. Right.
I'm glad you had these experiences because it's important to touch the people.
Right. And you know what? I want people to know that I'm always approachable. I don't want anybody to think, "Oh, well, I can't talk to her because she's a selectman." That's not who I am. I will talk to anybody. So
I know you're approachable, and that's a good. Matt was like that, and John Mahoney's very approachable. Towne is. Yep.
I think we just need some new ideas. I think we can. I'll work with anyone. I can work with anyone. And you're more successful when you're a team anyway. So anyone that's going to go into the selectman seat and think that they're going to do it by themselves is not.
Well, you can't
no,
anyway.
God, no.
So, I mean, there's 5 people, 5 votes. But you have to make it, you just bring it to the people.
Right.
That's all you do.
Well, that's the whole thing. I have so much community support. I just bring it to the people.
Yeah.
It's their decision. I'm just their voice.
Yeah, but you will have to make decisions, Betty.
Right.
You're on your own. I mean, I would want you to.
Right.
And do the best for me and the guy next door.
Right.
Now, you know tourism is important to the town.
Yes.
It's our number one. It's Entergy used to be. Pine Hills is the biggest taxpayer.
Right.
But tourism brings in millions.
Right.
So we have to keep that going, right?
Right. I know that the Jonathan Beeder came to Town Hall a couple weeks ago and introduced a plan for the Water Street Promenade.
Oh, yes.
$15 million price tag. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work unless we have grants for all of it. And it's a beautiful plan, don't get me wrong, but we can't afford it.
It's costly.
Yeah, we can't afford it. We can't afford if we have to come up with 10 million, we just can't afford it. You know, now grants, fundraising, whatever, however you want to make it up, it's great. But one of the other concerns I have is parking. And that plan will take away parking.
That's true.
And the parking garage isn't slated for another couple of years before it's built. So I don't think we can afford to take away one spot, never mind 30 or 40.
I know, he said 30 or 40.
Yeah.
And that will hurt the plantation, you know, because they have that little cutout there, their buses come in.
Right.
And they rely on that. Where are they going to go?
Right.
So, there's a lot to think about. Now, you live in the White Horse Beach area. What are the concerns down there?
Oh my goodness. Taylor Ave is just, they put a Band-Aid on it for before the winter. The bridge that we have down there completely falling apart. No more Band-Aids. Let's get that money released. Do what you have to do to get it released, and let's fix it once. I don't want all these little, okay, we're going to do this now, and that costs millions, because everything seems to cost at least $1 million.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think we need to focus, and we need to follow it through, but not like follow it through in a few months, and then a few months later, we need to just keep plugging along and get what we need to get done. Buses can't even go over that. What does that tell you? It's unsafe.
Yeah.
And the last storm, the last winter that we had, I mean, if you go around the other side, and my friend lives right at the stream, so I can walk on his property, it's all broken up.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
yes.
not good.
I know it is. It's quite alarming. And you mentioned something about barrels on the beach.
Barrels on the beach.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
weren't enough.
No, there aren't enough. There's trash everywhere. But with that being said, one of the things that White Horse Beach needs desperately is enforcement. We need someone down there every single day, and probably at night as well. And I think a lot of the issues that we have down there, I think kind of would be a little bit more resolved than they are now.
When you say that, what do you mean, police enforcement?
Yes.
As a, just sitting there?
Probably just walking the beach, you know, from one end to another, or a four-wheeler, or whatever it is that he needs. If he wants to walk it, that's fine.
We could bring him a picnic basket.
We could. Make him a sandwich.
Make him a sandwich. Give him some ribs.
But I mean, I see a lot of, especially the public entrance. I mean, you see a lot of coolers walking down there.
I do, yes.
You don't see a lot of families down there. So I think a good summer long of heavy enforcement, I think would alleviate a lot of that problem, because nobody's going to want to go to the beach to get arrested.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a beautiful. 3 years old was the first time I went to that beach.
Yep. It's it's one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen,
Yeah.
and like I said, I've traveled a lot of places.
Yeah.
So
It is, and the way it comes in, it's very protected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mark Garrett and I he is on the planning board, have had conversation about, you know, the area that is semicircle there, the beach,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the way the waves come in. You know, they might bring in rocks, but it takes it out.
Right.
You know, it's just a wonderful setup there.
Right.
And it's a beautiful bridge. And we talked about the road conditions, which are deplorable. Mm-hmm. Now, you were a negotiator for Entergy.
yes,
Here comes Betty. She's not a breath of fresh air. She's a tornado.
a hurricane. I think someone called me.
Hurricane. Now, what about dry cask storage?
Dry cask storage.
We only have 2 minutes, real quick.
We need to get more money for dry cask storage.
Yes, thank
So,
you.
You know what? Tax it. I think Entergy has a great deal with their pilot program. Dry cask storage is a commodity for them, and they've admitted that we are a host town, so we need to recap those
Right.
monies.
Right, we are the host town. Yes, sir. 3 minutes, okay. We are the host town.
Right.
I mean, who are they fooling?
Well, let me put this into perspective for everybody. It takes them 9 days to pay their tax bill
Why?
because they make $1.2 million a day.
Oh. They make $1.2 million a day.
Right.
How interesting.
So if you really look at it that way, so
Yeah.
it's not even. It's not the tax bill is $9 million.
Yeah.
It takes them a week.
A week. You're right. I still wish it was 15 million. Should be 20.
Should be.
I think they're leaving. I don't know. You don't have to say anything. But I've said it now for 2 years. They're going to be closed down, and then what do we do? You know?
Well, that's where we got to really start thinking about our commercial base. And I'm not talking residential monies. I'm talking commercial monies. And we
Right.
really have to do something. And the things that we have in place that people have already discussed, we need to do them. We need to move forward with them. Whether it's a ferry, whether it's whatever it is, whatever ideas we have, if they are valid ideas that will bring in money, we need to move forward to do them.
Amen. Hallelujah. Well, Betty Cavaco, what is it, 1 minute, Kenny? We're going to hear the music. I thank you so much.
I thank you so much.
I wish you the very best. I want to see you seated on that select board.
And I would like that as well.
And we're here for you. And so appreciate it if you would give Betty Cavaco a vote.
Please, thank you.
You're welcome, Betty. And so that's May 9th.
Right.
Go ahead.
May 9th. And my election night event is at the Plymouth Yacht Club. So if you'd like to come down and join us for a cocktail and some appetizers, we'd love to have you.
Now, the room can only hold 150, but so a bunch of us will have to leave and then come back.
Or we can go outside.
We can go outside. So May 9th, and all the names that we put up there, please vote for them. And I thank you so much. I thank you, Betty. You know that.
This was a pleasure. Thank
see
you.
you in 7. Thank you.